everybody. Yeah, yeah. Anybody, if you can recognize that, then that is definitely cool. Welcome, one and all. Thank you for being here. If you could make it out tonight, that's just alright. Today is another fantastical day, or I guess night to stream. It has been a lot of fun doing all this with y'all. It's been essentially a bit of a miracle for me, meeting so many people just from these streams and getting ideas. Yeah, I would not be able to do some of the things that I have been able to do without you guys. So all of the support that I have so far been receiving is always thank you. Welcome back, Nelson Tanks World. Always good to see you here. Uh, for now, we're just going to give a little while. Yeah, as they always say, might as well wait for the late people. They always might have a little bit of something with us today. Hey, there we go. Good to see him today. We got if anybody was here for the last stream, and I again deeply apologize. I have now installed some more in new moderation to help deal with any potential spam risks or in I do hopefully wish that nothing bad will happen. I you're gonna teach Gravity Falls place like I said on Discord. I was probably debating probably Gravity Falls, but overall the whole lesson plan today is to teach how to use two hands doing two separate motions. Very many people can like I'll explain this a little bit later in the lesson, but essentially today is going to be all about using both of our hands to do different things on the piano. Because if you know any big music, it's always two separate hands do two separate things, and that always, well, almost always sounds very beautiful, or at least it sounds. And Nelson Says World again. Okay, I might as well get this disclaimer out for now. I do not wish to do any big collaborations with anyone. And it's not because it's like I'm not ready or it's not like because I don't like you. No, I'm sure all of you are very amazing people. There is just a lot of legal issues and structural issues, things that I just do not have planned out right now. Actually, let's just put it like this. I'm just simply not ready to be able to put multiple people on a live stream such as this. The only simple fact being is that currently I still have school, I still have a life of my own, 15 years old and living the dream, as they do say. And because of this, I need to prioritize what I need to prioritize. During the summer months, I'll be, of course, prioritizing, spending time with my own family, doing outside work, but also spending more time during YouTube for all three of my channels. Go subscribe to them if you're not subscribed, by the way. EMC and Chill and Fun, they're also on my channel. Go check them out. But I will gladly do all of these collaborations and live streams together once I have everything ready and I have the proper time and preparations to do so, or else I am a bit of a perfectionist and I'd rather have it be, smooth and sailing but take a lot longer than put together in just a day and have it be a complete chaotic mess. As I am trying my hardest here, thank you very much for just your understanding in general. Let me just check my chat here if everything is visible, cause I'm just trying my things. Alright, thank you for understanding. Again, I just need more time. Once my school is over sometime in the middle of June, then I'll be able to really start cranking out, better live streams, better videos, more concerts. I'll be able to also start diverting not just at the piano, start giving tutorials for things such as the tenor saxophone, alto saxophone, maybe even potentially baritone saxophone if I am allowed to take my baritone from school, as that is like my main instrument currently, and usually they will not allow me to do so since it's such a big instrument. But I'll be asking around my my conductor, Mr. Connolly, Dan Connolly. He's a really amazing guy. I appreciate him and his work, so I don't want to interfere with him by taking something that I may not be able to allow to take. But I can guarantee that there will probably be alto saxophone and tenor saxophone, uh, you know, for marching band and such. Speaking of, when it comes to actual signatures on the piano, that will take me a long time to learn. But unlike piano, tenor saxophone and alto saxophone do not have are not as complicated as piano, quite frankly. I'm sorry to all your tenor saxophone and other saxophone lovers. I'm sorry, piano is just a lot harder than the tenor saxophone, at least in my opinion. And I'll be able to actually take requests for that song if you do some sheet music. By the way, if you want to send me sheet music and music ideas that you want me to do, go to my channel and go to the links, and in there you will find a Discord. Discord is like a chatting, messaging type of thing. Think of it as like a bootleg SMS system that will be able to, you know, you'll be able to contact me directly. You can give me ideas. I will, if you have, hey, I need help playing Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars, here are the notes, and you send me like a document of what you're playing for the notes, because I'm sure lots of marching bands are going to start popping up once summer hits. I will gladly, take that and will gladly start playing it. Anyways, let us now start the lesson. Today we are talking about using both of our hands during the playing of the piano. Can be gray, can be electric, it doesn't really matter. So, if you haven't already, if you're at a piano, I would suggest start warming up your hands because, well, that's kind of necessary. Warming up your hands so that your hands are a little bit flexible, just like any sportsman. Meanwhile, as after you're done doing that, you can warm up your hands by like playing a scale up and down like this. Not the most effective method, but it's a method. Now, how do you train your hands to do two separate things? Well, first you want to teach them how to do the same thing. Why would you want to do that, you may ask? Very simple. If you can do two of the same thing, you will have like that coordination that you will then need for when you need to play with one hand and the other hand. Because it's a little bit different regardless of how you play it. There's a book, I highly recommend it. It's called Hannon. It's essentially like a bunch of warm-up preparatory scales that any pianist that I've ever known probably uses. It's like the bread and butter of any musician. If you know how to use it, and you know how to play it, and you can use the scales to your benefit, then it will help you out a ton when it comes to quick warm ups and uh, helping you out. So here's like a quick demonstration for hand and that double use of both hands. You want to start your C, first finger on C, and then you want to put your pinky finger or on your left hand also on C. Now, how the handbook writes it is that it will have first you do the right hand, well, in the beginner hand, and specifically, you can use the right hand, then left hand, then you add both hands. And that's how I'm going to explain it today. So, first, you'll start with the right hand going from C to E, F, G, A, D, F, E, D, and then you just need to do a step up for every top note. So it will sound something like this. And you want to stop when you get to high G. Now let me repeat what I just played. Again, you start from C and you jump to E. When you get all the way up to A, you go back down. And then you go to D, use your second finger, specifically second finger, to jump to F. Then from E specifically second finger, go to G. F, G, A to C, B to D. This will, well, you got to this top point. Congratulations. Now you do the same thing going down. So you go from G to E with your fourth finger. Then you go to F to D, fourth finger again. Add. When you get to this point, you can do what it shows in the hand is that you just go from a G, from all the way down to B, then back to E, and then you just do a C chord. So let me repeat what I played. This is what you do for the right hand. Okay, now, can you guess what the left hand is going to do? Because Hanan is about repetition for both hands. Yes, you will now play the exact same thing on your left hand, except when you go down with the right, you're just going up. So same concept of going from the pinky finger to G, fourth finger, sorry, anybody's hand can barely lift that, so I'm just going to use my extra hand to do that. Fourth finger to go and then same thing going back down, except now you use your first and second hand, debatably a lot easier. And same thing as the right hand, when you play, you go down and then back to E and then to a chord or just C. Now you would just add both hands together. The purpose is that you are supposed to be able to play both the right hand and the left hand at the same time. So it will sound like this. I kind of messed up on that bottom part, but y'all can see what I mean by that. I'm just trying to be able to, again, be able to move my hands at the same pace at the same time. Well, what do you mean? Are we trying to play two different things on two different hands? Well, yes, you are. But if you can't do the same thing on both hands, there's no point in trying to learn how to play with both hands. Because again, in the notes, it's all about the rhythm. And if you can't get the rhythm right on both hands, then you're just done for. So Hanan is a good way to study it. That was just the first one that I showed. You could just look it up, Hanan for beginners or just Hanan, and you'll just find the book immediately. Now then, now that I have showed Hanan, I will now be showing you the main thing that I want to talk about today. Which was probably going to be how you can actually play my song on the piano. That's right, I'm going to show you how I essentially made my song on the piano so that, and this will implement the use of using both two hands of doing two separate actions. Now, I'll be doing this through multiple streams of how to play my song. Because, truth be told, I never actually went into detail of how to play it. So I hope during the durations of the next few streams, I will be able to show you how to play my song on the piano. Now we'll start with the right hand, which is, usually what you start with when you start any piece. So, you start with C, so it'll be C to E flat to A flat. I'll be going by flats for this version. If you can't hear what I just played, go back and watch my video of how to hear and understand what somebody would be playing. But what I did there was that after I played this first part, up, down, two times, then I went to a B flat, to a C. So it'll sound like this. And then you go back to E. Let me repeat that. Because this is going to be one of the more complex songs. Especially because there are no notes for this on the internet yet, because I have not actually made notes for this yet. So, we'll start. C, E flat, A flat, E flat, C flat, C, E flat, E flat, A flat, E flat, C, E flat, A flat, E flat, C flat, C, E flat, A flat, E flat, C, E flat. And repeat that now in full speed. Now you'll play the same thing, except instead of C, you will now play a B. A B natural. One could say C flat, or they could, yeah, you'd have to basically put in the notes C flat, because again, this would be a whole step, and this is considered a half step, so it would be a C flat in this situation. So you'd play regular C neutral, then C flat. The reason why you probably want to place why it'd be written in the note C flat instead of C sharp, or excuse me, just like B natural, or like with these like crisscross tactile sign that essentially means not a flat. Excuse me, allergies. Uh, is because you've already played a flat in the key signature, so usually they'll just depict that as a C flat just to not complicate things. Just like put a flat in the key signature. Anyways, this was how this first part of the right hand sounds. Messing up. Now, I'll be playing the next part. Here comes a bit of a big transition. Your second finger still remains on E flat. Your first finger goes to B flat, and your fourth finger should naturally land up on G. So you'll have this chord instead. If you may have noticed, we're actually playing different types of chords, or at least the inversions of chords. This one was the first chord. Then we played, this is the second chord. And here's the third chord. We have one more chord after this. That'll be like the final chord of this section. And I will explain it. But then, essentially, you will play the exact same thing that you played for the top two, going half a step up. So from a G, you would play an A flat. So I'll demonstrate it. As you can see, just like I did for these ones, same thing, except you will go down to a B, B flat, E flat, and G to an A flat. Then you will go to the final chord. I'm not sure what this is called. I'm pretty sure this is just like a weird inversion of G minor, I think this is. Or let me be, I'm not fully sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But this would be the chord that we are going to be using, which is a E natural, G natural, and B flat. This, and instead of playing what we usually were, which was like a half step up in the fifth finger, instead we're going to be going half steps down in the first finger. So it will sound like this. You play this once, twice, but then the third time you'll go down one, well, one half step down, down to D again, down to D, and then when you hit C, you'll go back to the first chord. And this is what it sounds like. Okay, congratulations, you have now learned the right hand. It will take you some time and slow practice to fully get it memorized and down to the bits and grits, but that is how we will keep going. Now, here comes the left hand. You will be playing in the left hand, now in A flat. So, while the right hand is playing this, so you'll be playing in the left hand the A, and then you will jump up to, at a certain point, you will jump up to E flat, down to A flat, from G to a B, hold on, I might be mistaking myself here. 1 second. Yeah, okay, I was right. So, I'll show you the moments when you need to jump. But the main point is this. You will hold to 1, 2, jump, 2, hold, jump, 2, hold, jump, hold, go down 1, go down 1. Then you'll have back to A. And should be able to repeat yourself in an infinite loop if you ever wanted to. Now I will now show you the full of what it will sound like and when you're supposed to jump. Overall, it's supposed to be a 2 count hold, jump. So think of it, if we were talking about it 4 times, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is when the rhythm of knowing what 2 different hands are doing at the same time. You will have a 4/4 time rhythm, and the right hand might be playing a lot faster than what the left hand will be doing. And it's important so that the left hand doesn't get too out of wonks, so to speak. So, you start with a C on the bottom and an A flat on the top. G, E flat, A flat, C, E flat, A flat. And you should be able to go into a loop. I kind of messed up there. But what you will need to do is know how to count. So this is going essentially 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little bit. It sounds sad. Well, it's not. Well, it's a little bit weird. Depending on how you play it, it's going to sound a little bit jolly. It's why I've never been able to actually make a name for the song because I can't really figure out. I wasn't really thinking when I built this song. I was just daddle-doodling on the piano when I was making it. So, here I am, daddle-doodling to this day. to make it a little bit more jollier, on the other hand, you can actually add a little bit of funk to that step. It's going to be a little bit more complicated, and then the rhythm gets completely off. But think of it as like a remix of some form. So if you really wanted to, you can make. You need to first off drop the pedal key. I haven't explained this before, but essentially every time you go down or do a change in the left hand, you'll want to use the pedal. Hold it down when you're holding, so you get that little methodic sound. And so up here, you have that methodic sound. So you have that methodic sound. Then when you're jumping, so that it all doesn't blend together, you lift your foot off of the pedal, like literally lift your foot off the pedal. Then when you play the E and the B, then lift again. It's a balancing act of making sure they don't all blend together. Usually every time you change in the left hand, that is a good time for you to pick your foot off of the pedal, which then makes it so that it doesn't all sound mushed up together. So this is how it'll sound. But if you want to add it to make it a little bit more on the happier side, you want to forego the pedal at all. This will make it, not so smooth. So you need to accompany that with a certain rhythm to it to give it that little spunk that we're looking for. So, hold up. Now that's my kind of jazz. Yeah, I'd say so. Actually, I kind of showed them what the next part of the song is, which is, again, I'll be showing that in the next stream just for the anticipation, but also because it is important to know that when you're learning a song, you always want to learn it piece by piece. If you rush through the whole thing, you will only know the rushed version of it. I can play any song, the rushed version of it. It ain't gonna sound good, but it's the song. But if you really enjoy doing something, you want to do it right. At least that's what I believe in my heart. So it's important to slowly play. It'll sound a lot more better. But if you want a little bit more funk to it, then you can just add in your own funk to it. Hold on here. Anyway, something along the lines of that. So that would be the main part of what I was trying to show today. Using your hands for two separate actions. The reason why this is important is. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to show you an example of the first part that I was talking about beforehand. Why learning to do the same thing will always be able to result in something like a lot better when you have two hands. Here's a famous song, Notre Dame de Paris. It was used in play, and this is like its main song. If you know it in the chat, post it in the chat. I don't exactly know the full song, but well, I do know the full song. It's a duet, but this is like my main melody of the song when I play it. If you can notice anything about that song, it's that I essentially played a good portion of it just playing the same exact thing. Just one of them was on an octave, and the other one was usually just jumping from chord to chord. It took me a long time to realize that lots of things are almost always like cotangent of each other. It's very simple. Like you go from a G to C, D, A flat, F, D, B flat, C, and then you go to the chord. But the chord is an F on top and an F on the bottom. And then, funny enough, you go to an F chord right afterwards. So it's those little moments like that when you realize, oh wait, despite the fact that I played two separate things on two separate hands, they have to be similar in some ways, or else the song in and of itself will just never work. So you get something like this. Same chord, same notes. I messed up. I messed up. Hold on. And you will soon realize that there's like a lot of these types of songs when you are playing that will sound, they will have the same notes in like both the right hand and the left hand. This will always be, useful and helpful when you're playing actual songs. Now, I'm just gonna cut it early for tonight. I gotta wake up early for school tomorrow. So, to end it off tonight, I will be just playing my other song, Perfectionist Dilemma, which we'll cover eventually, but first we'll cover the first song first. Or, unless y'all want, I can just play the other song. That would be, if y'all want me to play the first song and second song, put it down in the chat. I'll wait a little bit. First song, second song, pick a number, one or two. Which one I ever see the most, I'll, play it as like a final song for tonight. One, two, two, one. I'll post it in the live chat below. Pick your poison. I dare you. For those who don't know, the pick, the first one is the one that I was teaching tonight, and the second one is the one that I'll be teaching later on. But I have been, that one actually has a name for it called Perfectionist Dilemma. I posted it on YouTube. So pick your poison. Choose which one you want. One or two, two or one. Let the numbers decide. First number that I see, I'll play it. Come on, don't be shy. Post it in the chat. Well, I can also just get a coin around here of some form. I'm sure I can find one here. Yep, my 2 coins. Gonna go here. Heads or tails? Heads we do one, tails we do the other. Alright. But I'm shy. Aw, well, you gotta beat that shyness. It is tails. We'll be playing the second song instead. So, here we go. I'll be playing the second song called Perfectionist Dilemma just to round things off for tonight. Hold on, that's like go. Hold on. What the? I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. Well, that'll be it for tonight. Have a good night for everybody and peace. Thank you.